Gun violence is a scourge in this country, and it's happening too often in major cities in particular, all over this country. And Labor Day morning, there was gun violence in a suburb near Cleveland, East Cleveland to be exact, where 10 people were shot and one person was killed. And this happened at a nightclub. And as we scan the pages of the news all over the country on Labor Day, something happened that involved gun violence. It is, again, a scourge on this nation. And I'm just shaking my head because I know that what happened in East Cleveland is probably only going to be a blip on the screen if it even makes it to mainstream media. And it's just another example of the trauma and drama that is endured in urban centers. This is indeed a health crisis, and we need to treat it as such. And in thinking about the tragedy that just happened, near my hometown, right in East Cleveland, up the street, round the way, it made me think about not just the impacts, but what is it about gun violence? What is it about guns in the United States of America? What is it that drives people? And, Amnesty International did a really great job of laying out gun violence and the impact that it has. So I just want you to come with me for a minute. Amnesty International. Gun violence is a contemporary global human rights issue. Global. Not just this country, all over the world. So it's a human problem at its core. Gun-related violence threatens our most fundamental right, the right to life. Hello, somebody. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, or the right to life. Don't even get me started with these right to life folks, because them same folks, not all of them, but many of them, would be the first ones to cling to the gun and act like the Second Amendment is God's word come down from heaven. Now, I'm not against the Second Amendment, but we need to deal with gun violence, the trauma and drama of guns, and not act like that amendment is absolute. Because it is not. And people have said time and time again, especially people who take my view, that the framers could have never imagined the type of violence that occurs with guns in the 21st century. They just could not have seen that. And regardless, we have an opportunity, an obligation to change this. It does not have to be this way. And there can be legal gun ownership, people who own guns, in a way that does not cause harm to other folks, and also make sure that we are smart on guns too. Yeah, both of those things can exist at the same time. It is a scourge, this. And in urban centers in particular, marginalized populations, women, people of color, are more negatively impacted by gun violence. According to Amnesty International, about 500 people a day die at the hands of guns. I want to share some of the facts that, collected by Amnesty International, some of the key facts that they lay out. As I stated before, more than 500 people die every day from gun violence. 44% of all homicides globally involve gun violence. 1.4 million. There are 1.4 million firearm related deaths globally. There were between 2012 and 2016. The psychological damage that gun violence has on everybody involved. It's just no way to live. And we call ourselves civilized. It's just no way to live. Our obligation to one another, and particularly government's obligation to make sure that they are regulating guns, to make sure that weapons that are supposed to be used in war are not on the streets. A lot of things that we can do, particularly in the United States. We don't just have to sit back and take it. How much more is going to have to happen? Continue to ask ourselves, from the violence that takes place, at our schools with these shooters, to just the violence on a regular basis in urban centers with guns. We are a gun obsessed, gun crazed nation. We addicted. We need help for that damn addiction. And it's tied to toxic masculinity. Now, I won't throw that around because I know some people throw that around on everything. I will not. But on this one, there's a link. A lot of work to do, people. A lot. I'm feeling the James Baldwin moment on this. That not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And that's the moment that we are in on so many of the issues that plague us or animate our lives in this 21st century world of ours. Gun violence is one of those, whether it's active shooters at our schools or people not being able to run in a marathon or not be able to walk down the street in the community that they live in, work in, and love. Something is wrong. We are an ill. It's illness. It is a sickness. It is an obsession with guns. And I agree with Amnesty International that governments have a obligation to protect life. Life. To protect it. Part of protecting it is to make sure that we have policies in place, that we have programs in place to help people who may have challenges to deal with trauma and drama. And I get it. You know, we do need more laws to regulate guns. We need to increase the age by which a younger person can get a gun. Hell, I'm a mama. If it was up to me, they'd be 30. You know, put the mama rule in there. But damn, at least it should be 21, 25, hell, 25. And we as a society have to come to grips with the fact that everybody has a responsibility and a role to play. All of us do. And we don't have to always agree on every little thing, but can we just all agree that the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness is something that everybody is entitled to in this country and in this world? And we are failing miserably. So let's get to work. We need common sense gun reform in this country. And we also need programs to help people deal with the trauma and the drama that they are enduring. We do not have to accept things as they are. We can do something about it to help build a better world. My heart goes out to the loved ones of those impacted by what happened in East Cleveland, Ohio, and the other gun violence victims all across this country over the Labor Day holiday. Let's keep the faith, but more importantly, let's keep the fight.